Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of tSQLt Live. And again, today we're going to look at making SpyProcedure a little bit better. What we are actually working on is trying to allow SpyProcedure to spy synonyms pointing to a stored procedure in another database. And we made progress on spying synonyms over the last two episodes, and now we are working on just that, pointing to another database piece. And yeah, where are we actually exactly with that, Dimitri?
So we face the problem. Currently, one test is failing. So the last we wrote is then we have synonym pointing to procedure with parameters.
Yes. So the difficulty here is to try to find the list of parameters. If you look at the stored procedure, the spy procedure on the left side, the statement that starts in line 26, generate create procedure spy statement, that is calling, now that it is on screen, it's creating a cursor in line 29. And that cursor is pulling from sys parameters, and then it's also within the function private get full type name from sys types, selecting from rather. And those two are database specific, so right now it won't get the information of a stored procedure in another database. So we need to figure out how to make that work. The test we wrote last time is very simple. It just makes sure that the spy also has the two parameters that the original procedure has that our synonym is pointing at. So how can we get two sys parameters in that other database? And there are basically two ways that we have been contemplating. The one is to put this into a CLR function, which is probably one of the simplest ways to make it happen. Because in a CLR function, you can concatenate statements. So you basically can execute dynamic SQL, which you cannot do in a tSQL function. The other option to go is to create a function that generates the statement, the select statement that starts in line 30 based on a given parameter name, and then execute it as dynamic SQL here. And I'm not 100% sure at this point which one is a better solution. What do you think, Dimitri?
I never worked with CLR, but like, I don't know, they are going to this, they are deprecated or not deprecated. They are like Microsoft
CLR
asking.
is not deprecated, but there are a few instances of SQL Server where that do not allow for CLR. That is correct. But tSQLt is already heavily dependent on CLR, so I'm not sure that that is a good reason to not go that way. What we could also do is go the easier way right now and revisit it later to see if we can come up with a more complex way that does not rely on CLR. I'm kind of inclined to go that route for now, just to get something working.
Actually, I like that idea.
Okay. Then let's open Visual Studio and see if we can get into the CLR code. So when you look at the tSQLt repository, there is a tSQLt CLR folder in there, which contains a Visual Studio solution, and that's what we are looking at right now. And there is one, didn't we create last time already a stub for the new function in here?
Actually, I copied, no, then I deleted everything, make it clear before our call, so I clean up everything.
So let's open that original function that I think was annotation CS. This is an example of a function written in C#. A function consists of three not really true. It consists of one method, really. I thought it consisted of three. Okay, this function is getting the annotation list, which what it does is really not that important. But what you see is it's creating a it's creating a dictionary, an annotations dictionary. And then it's adding stuff to that dictionary, and then it's returning that dictionary. And with that, it's basically building the row set. It does consist of multiple. So there is a process row for get annotation list. That is what is actually in the end returning the rows. So what we will have to do is to copy this entire class and change it in a way to make it work for our purposes.
How are we going to? Okay.
So what are we going to call it? I guess that's the first question. And I think we should call it.
Well, what should it return? Maybe like.
If let's look back at the stored procedure. It returns the stuff for the parameters cursor for now. It might make sense to actually.
So we are talking only. Are we talking only about this part?
Yes. It might make sense to actually pull the entire cursor into CLR2 while we are in there. But just because we said, let's get it work quickly, let's get it to work quickly. I think we should, for now, as a first step, just take those lines 30 to 33 in there. So how about we call it get remote parameter info?
Are you going to type for me?
I can type. Get remote procedure parameter info. Oops. Okay, public class. SQL function data access kind. We do need to get data in this function. So let's see what IntelliSense is telling us. Read. It's deterministic, is precise. And then the table definition. You have SQL prompt installed, don't you?
SQL prompt, yeah. But I'm not sure if it's in Visual Studio.
No, I need it here. There's a neat trick into
A table definition.
and it does not always work, but this case it's.
Do you want this table definition? Ah, okay.
There we go.
I was usually creating table and then checking that, but that's
Yeah, you don't
easier.
need to. You just need to
Yeah.
type the code, and then you can
Yeah, I see that.
see it out, and nothing happened. Okay. Going to put this here for now. Okay, so we have a name sysname. Actually, let's just do that. Okay, that's our table definition. And then we also have to specify a fill row method name. And that is process row 4.
There is R missing again.
Again, what did you say?
Can you scroll right? The process for row 4 R is missing.
Good catch.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Let's copy that. So as you can see here, what that procedure takes is a row, and then it's returning values for each column. So basically we are replicating this up here, but now with CLR data types. And I think that is SQL string. And that would be name. And then we have another SQL string. And that would be type name. And we have
And the case sensitivity doesn't matter because name is if lowercase in our SQL function definition, table definition, and here it is starting with upper N. No, the left, not the left one.
Name. Oh, that's a good question. It probably doesn't matter, but our test will tell us in a minute. Then we have is output, and I don't know how to do SQL bit. SQL, let's see if we have a SQL bit.
Boolean.
Boolean?
That was, yeah. I know, I'm not sure. I'm just like saw this Boolean.
Yeah, should be. Should be. Output. And then we have cursor ref and table type.
So while we are writing, so I'll get deeper in the problem. So the problem is that the information about parameters and pretty much all system information is located on a remote database when we are working with synonyms that's pointing to remote procedure. Yeah,
Yes.
and the current function, what we are trying to rewrite, or how to call it. So it's using the instance service objects that are located on the instance we are running unit tests. Yeah, and this is the way we are trying to still be able to write select statements and use it in the join, but return system objects that will be passed as the parameters. Like then database and maybe instance will be passed as the parameters.
So now I'm looking at other examples here of how to actually run a query. And the result set filter, I know, does have run a query code in there somewhere. Okay, so this one executes a command and gets the data reader back. Then the data reader has a result set. And you read that result set.
Should we read result set or not? I guess we just need to execute the command and return the result set or something like that.
Yes, but we need to do some translation. So we actually need to get information about the about each row. So we have a data reader read, and then a data reader gets SQL values which puts the values into an object. So let's start by running that line here, which I have copied already. And it wants a command. Okay. Now we do have an issue there.
With a function.
It's a function.
But we can, at least for now, we can, you know, I guess, can you give me a little bit if
Yes.
we have dependencies here? So there is sys types, and sys types is pretty much one-to-one. I mean, for now,
This is one-to-one, yeah.
we can do like that, for example. It will be ugly, but like it at least it should work. Yeah. Type ID. Type ID. What is that? Is it there?
So yes, it will work. However, the reason that this was using a function was that the function is tested, and I don't want to repeat all of those tests here.
Oh, okay.
So we could do that to make it work at first.
Yeah, this is pretty much what I wanted to.
Thinking about it, what we really need then is to extract the function and pull out its statement. So that you can execute it directly. So basically what you just did manually, but in an automated fashion. And if you have to do that anyway.
Okay, so only this part will be hard coded, this and this extract, but extract like underneath, like you mean the result of this function?
Not the result, the code. I think we need to extract the code so that we can then directly execute it. If you have to do that anyway.
This one, this one, right?
Yes. If you have to do that anyway, then there's no reason for CLR anymore. Because I was trying to avoid that. But now looking at writing it, we would still have to do that. So doing the extraction is actually not that hard.
Extraction, you mean the source code, automatic source code extraction?
Yes. You just need to find a way to find this in some form, in some automated fashion. And then we need to find a way to replace the variable names with something that was passed in. So let's It's just hand code, what the output of that extraction would look like. Get full type name statement. Which would take parameter names and return select and within here we would have to place every single one as a double one in selection, replace all. And then we would have to replace every variable with it's a variable. Special param, a character here. Used regular expressions in this interface in a while. That is correct. And then we do not want a space. And we want that several times. And we also do not want a comma, a semicolon, right? There we go. Wasn't turned on. That explains it. And then we want to replace that with skip range again. Replace that with
Yeah, you don't have selection anymore.
do you remember if that is $1?
I guess $1.
Seems to be $1, okay. And what we want is that.
And also I think that like private sys types will not exist on the.
No, you're right. But one at a time here. It was the oops, kicking off.
Oh, you need,
Things
I
on your
guess
computer.
you need to name it somehow. Alias.
That should work, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, but now you have this from statement returns several columns and your alias is X and then just one single CMD. I guess such something is wrong.
That is wrong, yes.
X and then here, yeah.
Good catch. Let's compile that. And then let's see if we can use that here. What we have not included yet is a database. That's okay. Let's get it working without declare max. Cursor or parameters cross apply plus security at full type name statement.
Why didn't you do that? Why it's not in string?
Because this is returning a statement.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm adding.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I understood. Then you don't need opening bracket.
Yes, you do. Because this is returning a select statement. And
Cross apply, but then. Okay. Then T, you need to alias it on the line 34 as a T.
yes, good point. And procedure object ID, we probably should just hardcode to.
All code writing best practices are followed here.
What do you mean, writing best practices?
Ideal code.
Okay, what does it not like about the name?
Maybe it's
Control-Shift-D. Okay. Now we can just exec the cursor. Save this and run.
but where is the cursor starts like now?
The cursor is created in this statement, and then it's opened here. Cursors are not scoped, so this works. Could you run the tests, please? Control 9. Okay. So something ain't working. Let's print out. The code.
Why isn't it printed?
Why is it not printing? That's a really good question. Because it's probably failing when calling the function. How did we define the function? Let's call the function manually. Oh, yeah.
What?
I think you call that being asleep on the wheel.
Hmm.
Let's try the tests again. Hold on. Why did that succeed complete successfully? With a clear error at the bottom.
Because it was succeeded previously, I guess.
Yeah, but if I run this, there we go. Now we are getting an error. And now run the tests again, please.
Yes, only that one failed.
Okay, this is even more curious now.
Why?
Because this code also cannot have worked. Let's try the tests again now.
No. Incorrect syntax near sys, but it's.
And why are
But why shouldn't it work?
all of them should be failing?
Why?
Because they're all now calling this.
Okay, but so why shouldn't it return bad results? Currently, this our mocked, not mocked.
It should either produce bad results or print out the command. Neither is happening.
Ah,
I just compiled that again. Can you do a Control-9 again, please?
now two are failing.
We are
Could
in the
not.
same database.
Example, example, example. We can do. Yeah. But did we recreate this one?
We did, yeah. Okay. Is this actually called this procedure? Or are we making stuff up here?
No, it's not in the string.
Let's run the tests again.
Yeah, probably we got there.
Okay. Am I not deallocating the cursor? Yes, I am.
Okay, if you move this raise error. Okay, if you do 16.1, just like to make sure, raise error, just change severity level to fail.
Actually, let's try something else. Okay.
We have it.
And now it's suddenly printing all of them. Oops, lost your screen. Okay, so what that means,
ask for control request.
yeah, what that means, thank you, is that this actually worked. Now, two things need to happen. Number one is we need to make this work for other databases. So really what we need to do is pass in the database name to use for sys tables in this case. Number two is we need to generate this code instead of hand code it. Which one do you want to tackle first?
Let's pass the database to figure out if our approach is working. So probably yes, but
Okay, let's
you
do
never
that.
know.
Database name, because you should not do big refactorings with a broken test. So I would agree with that approach. Database name plus. And I think I want to be able to do an empty database name too.
For empty database name, you make a plus dot, make plus no coalesce. I mean, coalesce.
Actually, the nice thing is that you don't need to worry about it.
Oh, but now you'll need to pass the dot.
Yes.
What about two-part name? Will it quote both? Yes, probably. Yeah.
Good point.
And probably parse name and then quote name will be safer.
Okay, could do that. Word name, but we don't really have a test for that. So let's just leave database name for now. Quickest.
But now dot.
The dot here.
But now if you put the empty database, it will not work. But if
select star from, that's my from. Did I lose you again?
Maybe the screen is frozen. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what's wrong because I disabled it, turned off everything.
Networking issues when talking across a big pond.
And can you request?
Yes. Oh. There we go.
Okay.
From dot sys dot types. So you don't need to worry about it. About that superfluous.
I was okay. I was writing my. I was doing coalesce plus dot.
Yeah.
Oh no, like database plus dot. So if it's null, then it's null, and then coalesce that, and then add empty string.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
But as we don't need to worry about it, I don't think we need to add all that logic.
I agree.
But what you could do is null if.
Can you try one thing? What if double dot sys types?
What this does is if the database name is empty, really if the first parameter matches the second parameter, then a null is
then
returned.
It makes null.
And then you can use an is null on that to get your dot in.
Can you try select start from double dot sys types? Good. So 4-part names.
Yes, SQL is actually very flexible with names. Can
Yeah.
even
Yeah, this one I know what spaces are okay.
add spaces, yeah. And you can even do really weird stuff like that.
It's alias.
But let's not do that. Let's not write intentionally unreadable code. Okay, now we have our database name. Let's compile this. And let's add our database name here. Starting with the empty name. What did we break?
Double quote, I guess.
Oh, yeah. No, this is outside. But
Okay.
somewhere we
Yeah,
are missing
yeah.
a quote.
Comma, and then one more. Okay.
Good. Good.
Okay, still.
That's still working. Now we need to figure out the database name from the synonym.
And it is probably not database name, but first 2 parts of 4-part names. So it can be either instance plus database name or just. And this can be figured out if we have the object name, we have that procedure name, we have procedure name, and
So we have this thing here, which we had to change before already. Why don't we have it return an original object name? Do you think about that?
Yeah, but I'm thinking when we call for synonym, so this is base object name. So actually, no, yes, but we also have it in as object name.
Yeah.
We have it we can get it from line number 19. Because we have this base object name and it is up to 4-part names. So if we just concatenate first 2, or the third and fourth part of parse name function, we will get it.
Okay. Good point. Now we don't have a test yet that is asking for linked servers, so let's not add that code yet. But remote object name equals
Base, not
name.
parent. But we can have the full name, like as we don't have tests, so we can get full name. Okay, whatever.
Yes. No, you're right. And this, come on. In this place, we should just get the base. And then we should pass in the base.
Are you in master? No, example.
Yeah, I know. Mouse inaccuracies over Zoom. So where are we calling? There.
Shouldn't we make it default as null to
There's only
support?
one place that is using this
Okay.
procedure, so
Okay.
it should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It seems I got disconnected again.
Okay, next time I'll try to reduce number of displays.
Yeah.
Little by little, you'll find out what's wrong.
Requesting remote control.
Okay.
Remote. Database name. And varchar max.
The name is not very accurate because it's not only. Oh, you want to have two parameters, so just one variable or two, because it should here it should be. It can be either okay, just because what about the instance?
Right now, our test is only asking for a remote database name, so
Okay.
I'm not worried about the instance.
Okay.
Okay, let's run the tests.
Green? No.
All red.
All, pretty much all red.
Because the remote database name might be null. Is there one that passed? One test?
Few, just 2 or 3, 4
Is
or
our
5.
remote one? Remote.
One, yes. But the last one, no.
Okay. Um,
And you need second parameter for is null.
yes. It's basically unresponsive. How about you finish that typing? Oh, it should be done now, but can you File that and then run the tests again.
Yeah. Better. But invalid column name P1.
Invalid column name P1. Okay. And what are the other two errors? Procedure or function?
Expects parameter remote object name, but it's not supplied. So it
Can
is
you open
used,
that
it is
test?
called, yeah.
It's possible that we're calling that function, that statement directly in there.
Should we make that one now or
No, let's
change this
just fix.
test?
There are two tests that have that hard coded, so let's just fix the test.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, so only the last one.
And I would love to know why. Let's run only that test. And then change the procedure on the left. Let's comment out the declare parameters cursor for.
These ones?
No, just line 32 after the opening quote.
32. After open quote like that?
No.
Oh, can you? I'm not. I don't.
There.
Ah.
Then, okay, let's run that test again.
So if I click do Control 9, oh, it's frozen again.
Yes.
But if I do Control 9 again, like anywhere, so it will rerun the last test?
Yes, correct. If nothing else is highlighted.
Okay, now, but zoom things in another way.
There we go. Connection is broken, recovery is not possible. Can you save this file?
This one?
That one, yeah, that's not saved. And then also query 36 is not saved.
Yeah, but I would happy to, but now again, it's something is going on. CPU 100%, but not anymore.
Zoom sometimes is a hog.
Okay, save this. Save this. Okay. Okay, share probably. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I saved both of them.
Good. Then let's reconnect, which you might have to close those windows and reopen them.
If I control execute them. Now it will go to master and fail, but it doesn't want to. Interesting. Do you still hear me?
Yes, I'm still here.
What's
So it
happening?
says your server is down. Yep, your server is down. You won't be able to connect. You need to restart SQL Server. You probably can do it right from Object Explorer. Right-click on the server name and click Start.
Are you sure you want to start SQL Server? Yes. On ROG. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Test. Oh, test passed. No tests executed.
Yeah.
So let's try this one.
Control 9 is dependent on the connection. So if the connection gets changed, it basically uses a temp table under the covers. So as soon as that temp table is gone, or under the hood rather, as soon as that temp table is gone, Control 9 doesn't know what to do anymore. Okay, how can we get the same error? Can you compile left side again, please? There we
His
go.
out was cursors is stable. So it's via passing.
We're getting parameters fine. We're just getting them for the wrong object.
Procedure object ID. Procedure object ID.
That needs to be the remote object ID.
Yeah.
Which we do have, if you look in SpyProcedure.
Yeah. So it's base object name, object ID of base object name. I'm wondering, will we get the same issue? Is it always?
Object ID, base object ID, base object name should work.
Yes, I agree.
Are we using that same procedure object ID that we're passing in here, or are we doing some weird mix-up in the other procedure?
We're using the
Not
same.
used in between. Oh, stop.
There. Here. So we are not. Cross apply.
Do a single quote plus remote.
We need to add it here as well.
Yes, single quote plus remote database name plus single quote.
Like that, right?
Like that, and then compile and try again. Now it worked. Now take the comments out in line 32.
But still.
Now it worked.
P1, P2. Okay, I see.
Okay, then let's run all SPY procedure tests.
Yippee.
Okay, then I think we should check in 36.
Yeah, but we haven't added this file. So we probably need to.
No, and I don't really want to check it in, but for now I want to check it in.
But should we include it to the build?
No.
Or just check in?
Check it in so that we have it. And next time we will change the build to generate it.
Okay, so we go there. Tests. Okay, tSQLt.SFN. Yeah.
Actually, let's call this.
It's a stored procedure. This is. I know this
let's
is.
call it temp because we don't really want it.
Temp like that.
Yeah.
SQL. Okay. Here. Okay.
And then let's check that in. You don't, the generate still needs to be saved.
Okay, this is, we are not going to check in now, right? Or are we going to? Do we...
No, I don't see the need anymore. So let's delete it.
Okay, here added parameter modified.
That one you haven't saved in Management Studio, that file. Go back to Management Studio and hit save.
Okay, this file. Okay, SP remote object name. Here. Yeah, okay. Create synonym.
And we did remove all weird print statements from get full type generate create procedure, correct?
Okay, what did you say?
Did we remove all weird print statements from generate create procedure statement?
Generate create procedure statements. I guess yes, because I don't see them in the.
Okay, good. Then let's check that in.
I mean, I don't see them. No, let's double check. So here.
No prints.
No prints. Here. No prints.
Prints.
No. And here.
No prints. Okay, perfect. Check in.
Okay, now what we did, we implement draft or remote params. Okay.
of parameters for SPy'd remote procedures.
Okay, okay, let's try pro. No. Okay, okay.
Singular is fine.
Ideal. Ideal. Pushed.
Perfect.
And
Great. And with that, we are over time. So if you watch this, thank you for watching. As you can see, in complex code, TDD sometimes becomes very messy. But important is to always work on making your tests pass and then clean up later. And that's what we did today. So the cleaning up later will be next episode. We need to figure out how to actually generate this new function that we wrote today. Thanks for being with us and see you all next time. Bye.
bye-bye.